everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you from the Emirates, where it has just finished Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0. Just what Mikel Arteta, the players, the club needed after what's been a difficult week. The hardest week of the season so far. There are a lot of eyes on Arsenal coming into this one after what happened at Southampton, the draw, and then more specifically the defeat at PSV. I think a lot of people were looking at this thinking, what sort of response are we going to see? Probably the first time this season that there has been a little bit of pressure coming into a game for Arsenal, and people were wondering, is there going to be another slip up this afternoon against a team who are bottom of the Premier League? Not in the slightest. 5-0 winners. Arsenal thoroughly deserved the victory. Could have been far more. Just a really dominant display, exactly as I said what Mikel would have wanted going into this game. Some plenty of stories, good stories in there. Reece Nelson coming on, scoring 2 goals, his first goal in I think 837 days, something like that, and just great for Reece Nelson. You could see what it meant for him after the first goal. You could see exactly what that meant to him, and it was a big moment for him because the one negative from today was Bukayo Saka's injury. I've yet to have been down in the press conference. I'm not sure exactly what Mikel Arteta's going to have to say about it yet. But we saw Saka got a wallop on his ankle inside the first minute, carried on for another 20-25 minutes or so, but he was clearly not happy. It felt like only a matter of time before he went off, and he eventually did go off. And Reece Nelson came on to replace him. And now it's going to be a case of exactly, how long is he going to be out for? We'll have to wait and see. Arsenal got Chelsea coming up on Sunday. You'd love to have him available for that one, but the good thing is that Reece Nelson came on for him today, scored 2, got an assist. Brilliant confidence boost for Nelson. And as I said, you could really see what it meant to him after that goal, the first one, which made it 2-0. Because it was 1-0 at half-time. Martinelli, brilliant goal from him, perfect start for Arsenal. And I think for Martinelli it was big as well, because he was really, really bad on Thursday night in that defeat against PSV. And he needed a good response, and it was a great goal from him. Bukayo Saka set it up. Great header. 1-0 at half-time. It got a little bit nervy before half-time as well. That sort of 10-minute period leading up to the break, Arsenal just lost their way a little bit. I think they were a bit knocked off their stride from Saka's injury, and it was a little bit nervy going into half-time, but then they just flew out of the traps in the second half. Reece Nelson scoring on the 49th minute, scoring another in the 52nd minute. Thomas Partey making it 4-0 in the 57th minute. Brilliant goal from Thomas Partey. When you see the angle from behind him, he bent it around the defenders from 20 yards into the top corner. Absolutely sensational strike from Thomas Partey, very similar to the goal he scored against Tottenham. And at that point, Arsenal blown Nottingham Forest away then, 4-0 up. Still half an hour to go. The case of how many goals are they going to get? They only added one more. Martin Odegaard, really nice goal, top corner from Gabriel Jesus assist. 2 assists for Jesus today, but no goals. And he stayed on for the entire game. You could see, I think the whole reason he stayed on, because Mikel Arteta made plenty of changes, as you would expect, with a game dead and buried. But he left Jesus on. I think that was a clear sign that he wants Jesus to end this goal barren run, as much as Jesus probably does himself, but he couldn't do it. He had chances, had a couple of really good chances in the second half. One that he put straight at Dean Henderson, which he turned around the post with a good save with his legs. Second one at the back post from a corner. It looked like he was going to have a tap in, open goal, but he somehow missed it at the back post, didn't get his foot on it, and the goal went begging. And I think that, again, you could see how desperate he was to score. He just wants to end this barren. It was still a good performance for him, but he wants to end this little barren run he's on. It's 7 games in all comps now without a goal for Jesus. He wants to end that quickly, and I think, as I said, the reason, it just felt to me anyway, the reason he sort of was left on there was Mikel Arteta desperately hoping he would get that goal ahead of the game against Chelsea. It wasn't to be, but look, this was a very, very good day for Arsenal. Very good performance. They've been great this season. Obviously, they're top of the table, but there's not been any of those sort of games like this one. You can think of a couple, maybe Brentford away, but they've been that easy, that much in control, where you can just cruise through the game completely worry-free. But they did that today, and tough day for Nottingham Forest. Obviously came here bottom of the Premier League, had a great win against Liverpool last time out, but this was a tough day for them. The golfing class was pretty clear, and I'm sure Steve Cooper, when we speak to him downstairs in his press conference, is going to say exactly that. So great day for Arsenal, back on top of the Premier League. Like I said, it was just a really good response, with City winning yesterday, Arsenal going into it on the back of a draw and a defeat, being knocked off the top of the league. It just felt like one of those games that people were looking at and thinking, are we going to see Arsenal slip up here? So this was a very good and defiant response from Mikel Arteta's side. Okay, so player ratings, as you can understand, this is going to be quite a high ratings for me. Aaron Ramsdale only had 2 saves to make in the whole game, both of them straight at him, comfortable saves. Just barely would have broken sweat through this one. Just a really easy day's work for Aaron Ramsdale, who basically spent the second half being serenaded by the Arsenal fans who were chanting his name back behind him, England's #1, things like that. So Ramsdale gets a 6 just because he didn't have really anything to do. Then right back, it was Ben White, who I thought was excellent. It has to be the most informed English defender right now for me, Ben White. And if he's not in the England squad, then it is absolutely laughable. But Ben White gets an 8 for me. Then the two centre-backs, Saliba and Gabriel, they both get a 7. Gabriel had one horror moment just before half-time when he just gifted the ball to Jesse Lingard. Luckily, I think it was Ben White, brilliant block to deny Lingard and make sure it's still 1-0 at half-time. So it was a horrible moment for Gabriel, but other than that, it was a very solid display. It was just one of those classic Gabriel sort of one-off moments in a game, which we know he's got in him, and he had it again today, but he got away with it. But I'm still going to give both him and Saliba 7. Saliba was very close to an 8, because what he did do, he did very, very well, but he just didn't have that much to do because it was a very comfortable afternoon's work for him. Tomiyasu at left back again, Tierney on the bench again, surprising really, but Tomiyasu played very, very well, didn't do anything wrong. Give him 7 out of 10 as well. Midfield, Thomas Partey, brilliant goal, excellent performance. His pass in the build-up to the second goal was so good, the way he split the line and found the runner, Granit Xhaka, brilliant from Partey, and the goal was just sensational. So Thomas Partey gets an 8, Granit Xhaka gets a 7, a big part to play in the second goal, just typically good performance from Xhaka this season. He gets a 7. Odegaard I'm going to give it an 8 just because of the goal. I'm not sure he was on the level of Thomas Partey's performance, but it was still a good performance for Odegaard. Did really well in the build-up for Nelson's second goal, actually, the way he protected the ball in a tight area, really good feet. So he gets a 8 from me as well. And then up front, Bukayo Saka was only on the pitch about half an hour, was really, really bright when he was on the pitch, set up the first goal for Martinelli, but you could see he was struggling the whole time. He gets 7. Jesus, 2 assists. Again, caused Forest all sorts of problems, but he just didn't get that goal, which is really, really frustrating. Going to give him a 7, and Martinelli gets a 7 as well. Great goal, got the ball running. He had a really difficult night at PSV, I thought, Martinelli on Thursday night, but it was a good response from him today. So he gets a 7 as well. Obviously, a whole host of substitutes in the second half. Mikel sending on all 5, and he gave a lot of players a rest, which was good ahead of the game against Zurich on Thursday night, and then Chelsea. Reiss Nelson is the one I'm certainly going to grade because he came on in the first half, scored 2 goals, got an assist. Just a brilliant night for Reiss Nelson, who must have wondered if he was ever going to have a moment like this again in an Arsenal shirt at one point. To come on, score twice at the North Bank end, you could see what it meant for him. He's got to be my man of the match for me just because of that. He gets a 9, 2 goals and assist out of the 5. So yeah, really good day for him. The rest of them came on. Who else? Vieira came on. Cedric Suarez came on. The lesser spotted Cedric Suarez. He came on right at the end as well. Vieira, Eddie Nketiah, and someone else as well. But I'm not really going to grade any of those because the game was done and dusted by that point, and none of them really made an impact. But Reiss Nelson absolutely deserves a grade because he was the star of the show with 2 goals and assists, so he gets a 9 and man of the match from me. But on the whole, excellent performance from Arsenal, just what the doctor needed after just what the doctor ordered after a very, very difficult week, I would say. First difficult week of the season, but they end it back on top of the Premier League, 5 goals, clean sheet, job done. Bring on Zurich on Thursday. Thanks for watching, everyone. Speak to you soon.